Hey gang, Ambersill here. It's been probably close to a week since Reejr, Ramagar, and I played this game. As you can see, 4 CVs, 3 Rangers and a Reejr. We are in a Tier 6 ship. We are looking at the game through the perspective of Reejr in his Pensacola. And while this game certainly won't win any awards or special notices for number of kills or damage dealt or, well, probably anything else, we thought it was a pretty neat game overall, and it was fairly close, as you'll see. And Reejr hoped that I would post this up, and I think it's worth posting up. I think it's it's certainly a fun game to play. I hope it's a fun game to watch.
Enemy force detected.
Takes chip damage, plane attack. I was playing Anshan quite a bit at this point, because in the Fly, Strike, Win mission set, there were some extra awards for playing the Anshan or any of the ships of that ilk. I played primarily Anshan, although I think I played a couple games in the Loyang as well. Now you'll notice that our CV is doing all he can to provide cover for me there in the Anshan. He dropped a fighter right over me. You see a little red circle over the Anshan. Ram and Reejr, well, they're under pretty much constant assault. The Ranger that was down here with us, he opted to head for that little gap there at, what is that, F2? Not uncommon at all.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target. Roger.
Now, Reejr was hoping that I would narrate this battle, and I promised I would. It's just been an exceptionally busy week, and that is why I am just now finding myself with the available time to not only record this match to put up on the YouTube page, but to be able to sit and enjoy watching it and narrate it at the same time. Okay, so we're 3 minutes in. Reejr has shot down 3 planes. Not exactly a stellar performance thus far, but there's still plenty of game left. And as you can see there, he's still got 4 magic shoot planes down consumables that he can use. Now, we were on voice comms while this battle was happening, and there was some conversation about exactly what we ought to do here. As I recall, our in-game chat was generally fairly in line with what we were discussing on, I don't remember if we were on Mumble or Discord, but...
All stations, concentrate fire on the target. Acknowledged.
Nuremberg is pretty squishy, so with all of us targeting him, he decided discretion was the better part of valor. Hit the accelerator and made a run for it. You can see in the chat there, I'm asking our New York to come north. I was afraid he was going to keep going east and get himself alone out there with the farragut, get burned down or torpedoed or both. Reejr sees a little broadside, he's taking advantage of that, and he did get a nice AP shot off. And you can see my little pew-pews from the Anshan there, firing HE, trying to drag down that Nern before he can get around the corner and get out of sight. Our CV, one or the other, has just dropped the Nürnberg. Reejr firing over the islands and hope that he can land one. So close. Nürnberg is almost dead. And yep, there it is. Last second fire. I think it was my last volley that I got off on the Nürnberg before he disappeared. Got him burning, and he just didn't have enough hit points to be able to survive. I'm under air attack in the Anshan. Here comes Reejr and Ram. Getting the AA going. Just going to get his own plane in the air.
Fire on the target.
Now, for any of you who have never played in a division, to me, this is what's the most fun thing about the game, is playing the game with others. And in this case, we're able to actually talk while we're playing. We're trying to provide cover for one another. I'm doing the best that I can, although Anshan does not have terrific detectability. I'm doing the best that I can to spot for them. And now that we know where the farragut's at, you'll see that I'm going to head over that way. I'm going to be trying to screen for torpedoes. I just want to make sure that, although I know the torpedo range on that ship is not very long, that's the job. That's what I'm doing. It's as a part of the division. And there are the torpedoes that have been spotted by the Anshan. Now I'm just trying to avoid them. But then these guys can continue to give chase to the farragut without having to worry about the torpedoes. He's had enough. I think Ram ate one anyway. That was the sound you just heard. Farragut decided he'd had enough. He popped smoke, but he didn't stop in the smoke, so he just ran right out the back side of it, and the planes have gotten spotted. Our CV, in my opinion, doing a great job. Nice shot by Reejr. Got him burning. And down he goes. Great shot, Reejr.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
So there's a little discussion about what to do next. Do we continue along this same line? Yeah, I think we do. Now Reejr pushes up here. I can remember saying something along the lines of, be careful getting too close because the Bayern can blap you out of the water. But he had it well in hand. As you can see, he's already turning. He's dropped his speed just a bit in the turn, and be able to get shots off without having to show flat broadside. Now he's just trying to gain sight of him. Meanwhile, Ram is going to try and cover the other side of the island, and our New York, bless him, well, he just, at this tier, the guy might have 300 games under his belt, if that. He's probably still, like a lot of us, including myself, were at that stage, trying to remember, how do I slow down? How do I turn? What's binocular view? Nice shot, Reejr. Okay, so a little bit of damage, got a fire. And here comes the AP. See, Reejr's all angled up. Not one of those enemy shells hit him. He's just going to continue to work some jabs to the body on the Bayern. Our Ranger drags down to Texas, which is not an easy feat. And Bayern continues to burn. Leander's in the open. I think I remember something about having said that at some point or another. Reejr's going to capitalize on that, trying to get off a shot, do as much damage as we can to that cruiser. Being a smoke cruiser, it's a threat. He's got to fire. Enemy buyer, just let the fire burn. And Reejr's trying to get another one started. Meanwhile, Ram's fallen back. He's at our cap. Probably a good idea, because our New York really, poor guy. He just probably felt a little helpless back there. You can see on the mini-map, we've got Ram at our cap. Reejr firing at long range on the Byron. Now sees another shot opportunity on the Leander that I have detected by pushing up. And the Byron manages a long-range shot on Ram and sinks the Grush Bay. So, at this point of the game, we have 6 ships, they have 7, and they have a roughly 100-point lead on us. One or the other of the 3 of us, around to this point of the game, as I recall, said something to the effect of, we're actually losing this. We're going to have to do something, make something happen here. Can't remember if it was Ram or Reejr, but if I remember correctly, one or the other of them said something to the effect of, how can we be losing this? Well, at this point of the game, we certainly are. I don't want to spoil the ending or anything. Like I said, it's a close game. Wondering, is Reejr going to use that consumer? He's got all these planes in the air. Is he going to activate that and really start shredding some planes? Yeah. Sometimes an abundance of caution earlier in the game can pay dividends toward the end of the game. So he's hanging on to it. Leander torps there. I'll say thank you again. I think Reejr or Ram's floating around in the air watching the game at this point, but one or the other of them said something along the lines of, Leander torps trying to warn me. Okay, so at this point, Reejr and I decide, okay, since we have to make something happen, we got to count on New York to at least slow them down long enough for us to make a move, and we're going to go ahead and push the cap. Rangers in sight. We know Byron's up there. We got Leander dead ahead. Hopefully, he'll be ahead and dead in the not too distant future. Oh, he's going to show Reejr his broadside, and he's going to pay for that.
We've destroyed
just
an enemy cruiser.
A second or two too late for me. What happened with me there in the Anshan, I had my guns angled to the port side. I was running up there trying to get a fire on the New Mexico, thinking I might be able to get a fire on the Byron, and Leander popped up, and the only guns I could swing around were the forward guns, which just weren't enough. So,
the ship is on fire.
We're now down by roughly, by 115 points.
Problem solved,
They have a
sir.
one-ship advantage. You can see they've taken myself, Ram out of the game, they took the New York out of the game, but our Ranger has taken out the New Mexico that was threatening our cap. The Reejr has activated the consumable and is shooting down some planes.
The ship is on fire.
It's now 4 ships to 4. They still have a points lead.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
What will we do? What will we do? Reejr's doing all he can. Take down planes. Working hard to get a fire on that Byron. It just didn't work out. Now he has a very target-rich environment.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
You can see me suggesting to one of our CV captains, the Reejr that's down there at I-3, that if he were to move a little bit farther north, he would still be out of sight, but his planes would take a lot less time to move back and forth. Reejr still pushing the cap, realizing this is kind of a desperate situation for our team. He just turns into the torpedoes. The activation range was not sufficient, so he avoided any damage from torpedoes. But he is under pretty much constant air attack at this point. Oh! One on the nose. They're coming from behind as well. Manages to dodge those. Not an easy feat. Oh! And he has to show just enough side to the Byron to allow the Byron to do some damage there. Okay, so here we have Reejr, 4,550 hit points in the enemy cap. We are still down by about 13 points. 3 minutes 43 seconds to go, and our Ranger, one of them, finishes off the Byron. And here come the planes. Now, you'll notice the score. It's now 482 to 472. Why is that? Because our cap is continuing to accumulate points, and Reejr being in the red cap has stopped their points accumulation. Meanwhile, he's eating planes like candies. All the while, aware that he only has 4,550 hit points left. His airplane count now sits at 35. And he knows it's only a matter of seconds until the next wave of aircraft come for him. And here they come now. "15 seconds left on the cooldown timer. Here come the torpedo bombers. 8 seconds. Can he avoid? Oh, he takes some more chip damage. He's down to 1,093 hit points. Oh, those torpedoes are in a pretty tight spread. Can he get between them? Oh, it's going to be close. Awesome. Great maneuvering. Also, aircraft damaged and destroyed total up to 41 planes for Reejr in the Pensacola. And he has managed to stay in the cap despite constant harassment from the air, giving us now a roughly, well now exactly, 50-point lead with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Here he sits with 1,093 hit points. Activates the consumable. Let's see how many planes you can take with you to Valhalla. "54 seconds left. We have the lead. There's no hope that the enemy will be able to get into our cap or finish off either of our remaining CVs. That's the game. Reejr, you won this game for us. I said it then, I'm saying it now. Your willingness to move into the cap, to stay in the cap, to deal with the planes, while it may have been less glorious than chasing down 2 CVs, I think we all knew they were going to get you. Your decision to stay in the cap gave us the points lead and ultimately the game. Thanks, Reejr. You did a hell of a job. Ram, you also played a great game. I know they targeted you early pretty hard, It was a fun game to play. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you the next time.